Let's do an overall garden update. It is almost mid-August. I'd say it's August 12th. And it's not looking as pristine as it did a month ago, but we still got some good growing going on. So I'll just give you a quick pan down each aisle, and then we'll go down each aisle and talk about it a little bit. All right, this is the fourth aisle. We'll start down here. I've collected most of the watermelons. This is a small seed watermelon project. I've collected most of the watermelons. Now there are a couple, but I've got the seed that I want. I've got a real small seeded watermelon and a bigger one with decent size seed. So I'm going to attempt to cross those during the winter months and then grow that seed out in the spring. So the vines are looking a little rough, unless you go over here, and then they're growing out on the fabric, and they seem to be doing really good. The tomatoes here, and here are super bare. I've culled or removed a lot of the super bare already, and I've done that because of various factors, but basically and essentially they're not what I want. So like I said in a short or another video, can't quite remember, all I need is one plant, and I still haven't quite figured out which that one plant is going to be. So I've kept several examples. This one's a good one for an example. In this heat, a lot of what happens is the fruit gets smaller, but this one seems to be pretty good. We'll see how it grows. All right, I've got Uncle Don's okra here, and the pods I'm letting grow out because I'm going to save seed now. You can see up here they're getting quite large, and even getting closer to the sun now, it's starting to get that nice little pattern on it. My melons, I've collected a lot of my melons, and I've got two that I really like with a Brix over 12, especially one that was 15. I did a video on that. And there are some promising ones still to harvest that are still attached to the vine, as you can see here. Like this one, I like the color of this one. It's very light colored, so I'm hoping that that is a very good tasting high Brix example that I can continue with to cross with next year. Okay, so that's the two panels here, the cattle panels, and that's it for the fourth row. On this third row, I've got a good example of sugar bear. It's doing pretty good. It's setting pretty good for me. You can see the fruit set there, and it looks like I'll be able to keep that. And the good thing about it, it's not cracking very much, which was a concern of mine. It's a very sweet pear-shaped cultivar. It's a cross with Juliet. So anyway, it is definitely parthenocarpic. These are both San Marzano and what's the other one? Not San Marzano, but Roma types tomatoes here. I'm liking this one pretty good right now. It appears to be setting fruit and in a parthenocarpic way. In other words, it doesn't need to be fertilized. These are the Better Boys. The Better Boys are still growing. Of the 5 plants that are planted here, really this is the best example that's continuing to grow, but there's no new babies on it, and this is a trial plot, these 5, so that I can compare them to Super Bear. It's a hybrid. Better Boy is a hybrid, and these are second generation, so the Better Boy has an advantage of hybrid vigor, but mine have the advantage of parthenocarpy. This is another example here of a potential keeper. Coming down here, I've already big time collected all of the cherry tomatoes that I want, so I'm no longer cataloging them, but I want to bring up a couple plants here. These are both in the same pot, pot 17A and B, and I've got an orange example. It's a really small fruit, and then I've got a red example, and they're small and they're very sweet, each one of them, so that's really cool. I've already collected seed of that. Now down here, I've got a couple decent examples that I'm going to carry forward, but nothing really spectacular to talk about at this point. Now I'm on the second row, coming forth the first this direction. Back there I didn't mention, back there is one squash plant, and I've got 3 others right here, and they're various forms of summer squash that I got from Green Global. It's the seed storage area, and I'm just evaluating to see if they're worth crossing with anything that I might want to cross with. I've got other examples here. I've got a pear that is a sibling to Sugar Bear, and it's got a really long neck. It's kind of neat. It's doing really well. It also doesn't crack, and it's pretty sweet as well, so I'm considering that one. And then I've got a pink cherry bear that is still producing somewhat, including if you look up here, it's also parthenocarpic, but it's not, it's slowing down. The heat's kind of getting it to a little bit. And then again, I've got the 3 different cattle panels of Super Bear here with potential savings, potential the ones. A little bit further down from, and the next panel from Super Bear is the lemon squash. This is a seed squash, just I successfully self-pollinated that one, which is why it's got this tag here. And that one will just be save seed. So now you don't have to worry about it for a few years, and I'll still be able to grow the lemon squash out. I probably have done a video on this one. This was as a butternut cross of mine. I'm creating a new butternut that's similar to honey nut but larger. Ooh, I see a leaf bug on here. Anyway, these are for the delicata, which is a parent of Feroce delicate, and the original plant of mine that Yellow Summer have died out. The Feroce delicate, not only have I collected the winter squash, but after I collected it, it's still continuing to grow. Look how long they are. So I'm getting examples, albeit slower growing. I'm still getting fruit that I can eat as a summer squash. And speaking of summer squash here, these are replantings of Madison's Cross here. And I've even got a fruit down here that's coming along. I need to cull that to one plant. I'll go ahead and switch over to the first row, and we'll do it from the inside here. The green beans were not a success. I mean, I've got a lot of fruit on here. I do, all over, because after the storm damage, another video, after the storm damage, it just ripped these to heck. And they started growing again, which was cool, except the funky thing about it was they were hollow. There's no seed in it, and there's no meat to it. It's the weirdest thing I have ever seen. They're just hollow, all of them, all along here. There's no seed in here, and I don't know, well, there's one right there, but most of them have no seed in them. Even when they're tiny like this, they're not full. They're very squishy. There's no meat to them. So all of this grow for the Vortex pole beans was not a success. So I probably won't be growing Vortex again, because it just did some weird thing with the high winds, but especially the high heat. I've got some peppers here. I'm trying to get a nice small productive bell pepper, and if you look here, I think I've got one here, and they're starting to change colors. Now when they change color, they change from kind of a yellowish kind of color, lime green, yellowish, to orange like this, and I don't see a red one on here yet, but it's really productive, and it's a good size, and it has really good taste, so I'm very happy with that. This is what I call 3 colors. It's a cross between my California Brine Santa Fe Grande type pepper with lipstick pepper, and it's very meaty. It's got thick walls, it's got a really sweet taste, and it's ultra prolific. So there's a red one back there. Hopefully you can see that one. And yeah, it's just loaded down with peppers. I may do a separate pepper video, we'll see. Here's another one that's a bell. I haven't tested that one yet. It's a little bit lighter green color, so that one will be evaluated as well. And then we've got a potential here that it's got that nice red color. I can't remember why I judged it. It's not very productive, so this one's probably going to be ruled out. And then we got another not as nice looking 3 colors right there, but super productive. Next to the 3 colors are my eggplant, and you can see by this nasty looking color here that the seed eggplant is getting very mature. It's almost time to collect the seed from that one, and this one's not far behind it. And yet they're still producing edible squash, small squash that we can eat. So that's really good. Really love this plant. You can see that, and it's a cross of Listada de Gandia and Camo, a Japanese and an Italian eggplant. Replanting of honey nut in these two. I've got this, which is a very large Tahitian melon and butterball cross of mine. I'm anxious to see what that flesh is like and see what it tastes like too. This is just a hybrid I'm going to save seed from. The cucumbers. What was that brand? I can't remember. I'll put it in the video here. I can't remember the name of it. Starts with a P. Anyway, those were extremely prolific. Great little cucumbers. Here's one of size here. And I crossed this one with another one I hope that cross took. These are parthenocarpic, so there may not be viable seed in it. But I crossed it with another one, which is, let me see if I can find it over here. Right over here. This one's success, and you can see that this planting is coming along good, and it's a longer cucumber. It has a sweeter, nicer taste. So I crossed it just to see what would happen. But anyway, I've got success. I think it's called success. Yeah. Replanted in here, and some of them are doing okay and some of them are struggling. Again, high heat, over 100 degrees, many days. Avocado that I've grown from seed. And lastly, the good old honey nut butternuts that I am beginning to love the dickens out of these things. Extremely colorful, beautiful squash when they mature, and they're ultra tasty, super sweet stuff. So that's the tour. That's what's going on with me out here in the main garden. This is Brent, you guys. We'll see you later.
How long do we gotta stay here for people we don't know in one lines? All of the clothes are designer, fast cars and who knows who. Yeah, I know what they wanna say. They're gonna ask me if I'm gonna make it. I don't care if I'm gonna have to fake it, long as I can be real